Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Oh man. Listen, everyone. They're being more and more bold. They're being more and more loud. So some of these clips we've heard before and we've seen before. Um, Shout out to Gender Warlord once again for bringing this to us. Yeah, see, the young women don't have the couth and the discipline, right? They don't have the savvy to pretend, right? They haven't put their finger to the wind to see where it's blowing necessarily, right? The young lady, see, the some of the women that are more, you know, seasoned, the Chrissies, they know better than to say, okay, look, it's just because we don't want to be black anymore, right? Edward Anderson, and shout out to the brother Edward Anderson, is 100% correct about that. Black women just don't want to be black anymore. The Chrissies of the world, right? They're more disciplined, they're more seasoned, right? So they just say it straight out, right? They just say it straight out. But these ladies, oh no, right? These ladies, oh no, right? So, you know, they're loud, they're raw, they're telling the truth, at least the truth as they see it. This is about the white man, right? This is about the white man. This is about the white man in his um his male member. This is about being elevated by white men. This is about white male status. This is about um it's very interesting hearing these people talk about the European beauty standard and black men and colorism. Meanwhile, we see how they see white men, right, and how they see black men. Yes, very much so, right, and how they see black men, right. So the young lady that tells us be a little flirtatious, right? Crack a smile. Don't be afraid to speak. In other words, you might be have to be the one to initiate. Yeah, he's a white man. You're a black woman. Of course, right? She straight up said it. You have the young lady with like you have the young lady that's talking about, you know, be his piece, right? You have them talking about the resting bee face, right? Crack a smile, a little wink, a little flirtatious, be a little flirtatious. Don't be afraid to talk first, right? But no, you know what? This wasn't Gender Warlord. My apologies. This was Attorney Dennis Sperling, if I'm not mistaken. This was Attorney Dennis Sperling. Attorney Dennis Sperling. That's who we got to shout out because that's where Mr. Z found this video. Yeah, 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 yeah. Right? Get my book, excuse my language, early Monday morning. My apologies for all the profanity. Get my book, The White Man's Whore, right? Get my book, The White Man's Whore, right? And the young lady at the end, to cap off everything, what we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. What we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. Now, that clip we've seen before. For those of you who've never seen it before, well, now you have, right? And the link's in the description. I suggest everybody watch it. It's about a minute or so long. Right? So, I'm going to freestyle a lot of this. I don't think it necessarily needs points, but much of the schism in the black community is about our intimate relationships. It's mainly black women feeling slighted once again that they are not elevated to upper middle class white woman status, right? Upper middle class and above white woman status. And they really want that lifestyle. And they charge black men for not only giving them that lifestyle, but in their minds being the anchor on their ankles and keeping them from achieving that lifestyle just because you exist, right? So you're not aspirational enough, you're not white, and you are a albatross around their leg, keeping them from achieving this. So the reason why we cover these type of things is because of how much of the conversation in the black community has to do with black man, black woman intimate relationships or lack thereof. So we get to this point here where we have black women actively straight out saying, buy my book, The White Man's Whore. Remember, black woman. We have black women saying, be his piece, not be your piece as a black man. It's not about being your piece. It's about being the white man's piece. We have black women teaching other black women or attempting to teach other black women how to attempt to flirt and talk to and chat up white men in particular, right? And then to cap it off, and then to cap it off, we have a young woman who said it straight out, right? What we make black men put up with, they are not gonna go for that. They are not gonna go for that. Speaking about non-black men, primarily white men, right? So in that environment, I want to know what Dr. Umar Johnson has to say about that, what FD Signifier has to say about that, right? What T1J has to say about that, what Foreign Man in a Foreign Land has to say about that, right? What Conscious Lee has to say about that, mm? What Steve Harvey has to say about that, what Derek Jackson has to say about that, huh? All these people straight pandering, tying themselves in a pretzel to ignore this very blatant. Yo, these videos like this are all over TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. They are all over. These women will, excuse me, these women and men will duck and dodge and weave and bob. Once again, tie themselves into pretzels to not acknowledge this. And if you get even one of them, the FD signifiers of the world, oh, it's little, it's not that serious. It's little, it's not that serious. Women that don't even know each other, black women that don't even know each other, that don't follow each other, saying the same thing like this, it's not that serious, right? Openly saying, what black men put up with, white men will not put up with, right? What black men put up with, non-black men will not put up with. So in other words, that's a woman young enough to say it, that we know we're putting black men through some crap. We know we're mean. We know we disrespectful. We know we're snarky for no reason. We know we're hell on them. Yeah, he's not a white man. We understand white men's position in this society, and the black man is not him. In other words, what these people are really attempting to do is just to get black men to fold under the matriarchy, gynocracy, if you want to be accurate. Accept the gynocratic order, right? Dear black men, it's your job to accept the gynocratic order because you're not a white man. And what's wrong with black women leadership? What's wrong with it? I mean, it's not like they're going to still be snarky and mean and condescending and tell you how you're not the you're not the white man. It's not like they're going to do that, right? What's wrong with the gynocratic order? What's wrong with it? And they're not going to tell you, I let my man lead in a placating fashion. It's not like that's going to happen. Just let black women lead so that they can go to college and university and come out and tell you how you're not on their level and how you ain't ish and how they would date the bus driver if he owned the bus, right? So they could be like Kim Foster and talk to you about class and class and class and class all the time, right? What's wrong with the gynocratic order, right? So that we can have more black women speaking about aborting black male babies. What's wrong with the gynocratic order? There's nothing wrong with the gynocratic order. So you can have more black women compare you to non-black men and then deem you lacking? Huh? What's wrong with the gynocratic order? So we can have even more videos on cheaters of black women getting caught. Black women are the only group of people on that damn show that get caught every single time, never apologize, never show any contrition. Why? Because, dear black man, it's not like you're a white man. I cheated on you? Did I really? I mean, you're a loser. You're a black man. What did I really lose with this infidelity? What did I really lose, really? Right? Ain't that right, FD signifier? There's nothing wrong with the matriarchy, right? The black community won't be allowed to be a patriarchy in America. Okay, fine. So the black community is by default a matriarchy, and black men are just gonna have to eat black women's unwarranted sassiness and snarkiness and condescending demeanor. And even by the young lady's admission, resting B face. The resting B face they don't give white men. What's wrong with the gynocratic order when you have to eat that B face and the white man gets the smile and he gets the interview voice, he gets that, right? And he gets the read my book, buy my book, the white man's whore. Yeah, the white man gets that because the black matriarchy, if you want to be kind, gynocracy, if you want to be accurate, it still exists so in a white patriarchy. In other words, black women still chasing after white men, still putting white men in white patriarchy. Let me say that one more again. White patriarchy one more time. White patriarchy on a pedestal. They don't actually. It's gonna be the difficulty at which these people find themselves in to accept that women of color don't actually want to tear down white patriarchy. Black women in particular. They are not okay with patriarchy coming from men of their respective races and background. But white patriarchy, oh, beautiful. The young lady said, buy my book or read my book, The White Man's Whore, whichever one she said. The other young lady spoke about black women initiating being flirtatious, not having the resting B face, right? Starting the conversation. The last young lady straight up said it. What black men put up with, other non-black men are not going to go for that. And we're supposed to ignore that, everyone. According to certain people in the black community, whether they're left leaning or right leaning, if they're right leaning, black men ain't building enough, black men are not taking the world serious enough, black men are jokes, black men think that they can rule the world with their penis, and black men, are all swag and no substance. According to brothers on the right, right? According to sisters on the right. Black men think they can swag their way out of every situation. According to brothers and sisters on the right. According to brothers and sisters on the left, the problem is that black men don't, excuse me, the black men want to be patriarchs. hmm Black men are sexist, misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic, right? According to black men on the left and black women on the left. Your black women empowerment men and women say that black men are colorist, sexist, um, featurist, colorist, right? Huh. And so these people see black men showing videos like this and saying, "Bro, just grab your passport, get out of here." Or like the best, no more default to black women. Just any woman that's the best woman for you. That's the best woman for you. They see that as an attack on black women because they refuse to not only just acknowledge that this exists, right? Black women that speak like this. Not only do they refuse to acknowledge that, they refuse to actually grapple with it. That black women like this exist. Right? How blatant does it have to be? I don't think there's a level. I don't think there's a level. If much of the schism that exists in the black community is because of the relationship or lack thereof between black men and black women, and yet we have black women sounding like this, and like no one in the black community is grappling with this, what's the point? If the only thing we're doing in the black community is speaking to black men and black boys about their supposed colorism, featureism, texturism, anti-black sentiments towards black women, right? Body shaming, homophobic, transphobic, right? Misogynistic, sexist worldview. If that's all we're doing is having that, gotta believe it, wanting to be white patriarchs while not being white patriarchs, but we want them to move about as white patriarchs, just not talk like white patriarchs, and definitely don't treat black women like white patriarchs. Because we want you to control things and own things and run things except for black women. Huh. And by extension, the black community. Let her have that. Even though you facilitate and build everything to put her in that position. Okay. Huh. Right? Bruce, I don't even. I've Mr. Z. Oh, yeah, Bruce, you got me on this one. Right? You got me on this one, Bruce. Batman, you got me on this one. Thank you for the super chat. Indigo understood what you were saying. I'm gone. Right? Once again, thank you for the super chat. And better use is white patriarchy is white supremacy. Whoa. Yeah. And that says a lot about where many of these people's minds are, especially the ones that and I've made the distinction, right? There are people from various races. You're walking through a store. I painted the scenario. You're walking through a store as a black woman. You're on your phone or you're not paying attention, and your shopping cart bumps into some white dude, and he finds you attractive, and he flirts with you, and then asks you for your number or however it works nowadays for you young folks. Asks you for your IG or whatever, and DMs you, and then y'all do that for about a week, and then y'all meet up and y'all go out, and then eventually y'all have sex, and then eventually y'all get married, and eventually y'all have children and move out into the suburbs somewhere, and then raise your tragic mulatto kids that's going to question their identity. There's that, right? There's that. And then there's what's more than often going on, which are black women and other women of color, but black women hunting white men. You're hunting them, and they are preying, PREY, on you, right? More than Toya said breakfast with Mr. Z, hysterical, right? You are hunting them and they are preying on you. The love is love thing, is it love? Or is it about lifestyle, position, prestige? Is it love? Or is it about status? Is it love? Or is it about anti blackness exhibited by black women like these? Is it even really attraction? Are you attracted to him? Or is it that his resources and status are appealing? Hmm. Is it the sex or is it the wallet? Right? Is it the sex or is it the wallet? Oh, breakfast. Okay, Bruce Owen Wayne says, okay, avec Mr. Z. Okay, so we're eating breakfast. So you said the same thing Toya said. Shout out to Toya. Breakfast with Mr. Z. Thank you. Thank you, Batman. Bruce Owen Wayne. Right. Now, no one said it had to be about love. We do live in a capitalist society. No one said it had to be about physical attraction. No one said that you as a black woman can't be cold and calculated, right, about your future partner and turn this into essentially a business deal. Shout out to all you people that marriage is a business. Yeah, that sounds nice. I get it, right? No one said that you as a black woman couldn't engage in that, particularly in this society, in this time of the world. Perfect. But deal with the consequences of black men not necessarily seeing it that way. All you want to be white people, and certain black men not necessarily wanting to be with a black woman who wants to make him pay the black tax. The tax for black men because they're not white men that some black women charge black men with. The white man, I'll date him at $65,000 a year. You, Mr. Black man, oh yeah, you have to, you definitely have to be a six-figure man, right? You definitely have to be a six-figure man. The white man gets to come in the door at 60,000, 50,000, 40,000, 35. Ugh, right? Look how bold they're being. Look at this honesty. Kim Foster addressed this? Nope. Khadijah? Nope. Juicy? Nope. T Noir? Nope. Right? None of them. Because why would they? All these people, anti systems of oppression, anti patriarchy, anti capitalism, anti white supremacy, anti. Are you really, though? I'm against all forms of oppression and hierarchies of oppression and anti capitalist patriarchy, hierarchical structures, structures, right? And then you talk to them long enough and you get into the conversation about intimacy, sex, lifestyle, black men, and somehow we end up in Auschwitz or an internment camp somewhere. Huh. Somehow we end up on the plantation. Huh. Interesting. Right? Somehow, some way, we go from being anti systems of oppression and, you know, love is love and all women are beautiful in their own way and beauty is in the eye of the beholder and talking about being fat phobic and transphobic and huh, homophobic. We go from there to talking about intimacy to somehow ending up right under the white man's crotch. How the hell? Huh? How do we get here? Fab socialism. Here go another one. Dear Fab socialism, here's another one. All these radical black women with white men. Yeah, because they don't mean it. Sounds nice. Cool bumper sticker. Cool story, bro. Let them talk long enough. And you realize how much they're not actually anti white patriarchy. They're pro white patriarchy. They're anti black men having any form of patriarchy. See, if it's black, it gotta be a matriarchy. And even if you people really wanted an egalitarian black economy, if you, excuse me, not black economy, black community, if you people really wanted an egalitarian black community, you would also be speaking and critiquing the women that sound like this, but you're not, because you too don't mean it. If you were anti white patriarchy, anti systems of oppression, right? Anti all of these supposed weird hierarchies that put white men at the top and white women right next to them or just a smidge under. If you were really anti that, then you would also be critiquing the women that sound like this. The lots of women of color, black women specifically, that sound like this, but you're not. What did Rebecca Lynn Pope tell us? Women that in every other endeavor in life, they're well mannered and well spoken and they're disciplined and everything is above board. And then you start speaking to them about love and intimacy and relationships, and Jekyll and Hyde. Switch, right? That's why Mr. Z has said, dear all you black elders, all you daddy's girls, right? You raise, and you could call, y'all could try to do whatever you want with all this crap. Shout out to you consciously, right? And shout out to all you fathers. I see y'all out there. I'm not raising my daughter to be oppressed by you. Yeah, you're raising your daughter to be oppressed by a white man, which is perfectly okay if that's how y'all want it. Your daughter could be sounding like this, or sounding like homegirl that was in the car crying after the white frat bro used her like the toy she is, right? But once again, shout out to all of you, yes, dear, no, dear fathers out there. As Mr. Z said before, y'all raise possibly very good students, right? Possibly very good employees, maybe even a business owner or two, right? An entrepreneur with some discipline. Okay, right? That are absolute horrible girlfriends and wives, particularly to black men. And now we see more and more that it's not that the black men are bringing out the worst in these women. These women are walking in the door saying, "Well, you're not a white man, so I don't have to be kind." So let's see what the young lady said in the beginning. Let's take what she said and let's turn it around. In other words, don't have the resting B face for white men. Dot dot dot. But it's okay to do that with black men. Be flirtatious with white men. Dot dot dot. You don't have to do that with black men though. Huh. It's okay to talk first. Dot dot dot. Be difficult and don't talk to black men. Huh. Wink at the white man. In other words, straight face, still face, resting B face for black men. Huh. Second woman, buy my book, The White Man's Whore. In other words, play like you virtuous with the black man. Put him on that weirdo 90-day wait period that Steve Harvey was speaking about. Yawn. But for the white man, bust it wide open right there and then. In the car, get caught, get in trouble. Like homegirl that Tariq Nasheed was making fun of years ago that was in Django that got caught with the white dude in the car by the cop. Tried to put on the fake white Valley girl voice. I'm gonna call my daddy, and white police officer didn't care, arrested her right in front of the white boyfriend. And is it because I'm black? Hmm. So once again, we have black women being so overt and so in your face about how much kinder they are with the white boyfriend or potential white boyfriend. How they make sure to not be difficult, how not to be sassy and snarky and rude and bitch's with 4, 5, 7, 20, a million exclamation points behind it. Hmm. So we can't help it. It's the society map that makes us this way. And you understand how much we have to put up with it? Do you understand how much we have to deal with it? Being a black woman, all of that goes out the window for the white man. Huh. So a video that circulates every now and again of James Baldwin speaking to was it Nikki Giovanni, whatever, with the when they're on stage, and and she's essentially saying, you smile for the white man, right? You're pleasant to the white man, but when you come home, you don't fake the funk for us. We don't get the pleasant side of you. Actually, it's the other way around. And there you go. Huh. Actually, and like I said, exactly, GC. And GC says, talk about a SYSBM advertisement. You can't you can't get more blatant than this. To all of you who claim to care about the black community, fine. You don't even care about the black community. You just care about black women. Fine. For all of you that claim to care about black women and black women empowerment, yes, even you, Chrissy, yes, even you, even though you don't call yourself black women empowerment, cut the crap. Kim Foster and Khadijah and Julesy and T Noir and all of you, right? What's homeboy turned homegirl name again? I forgot his name. Jesus Christ. I forgot the name, right? All of you that claim to care about black women, how is this supposed to work? Because we all know, let's be honest, this country is still racist as hell, anti-black as hell, and only a handful of black women are really going to achieve this. So we're going to have hordes of black women, hordes that used to be whores, hordes of black women, not just single. Let's be very clear. The birth rate is going down. So single, childless, miserable, angry, also making your life miserable because many of you still don't live in the suburbs. Y'all live in the hood. So making your life miserable when you go to the McDonald's and you got to deal with her bitch attitude. Or when you got to return something at Walmart and you got to deal with her attitude there. Right? Or when you go to Starbucks, you got to deal with her attitude there. Or when you go to a DMV and you have to deal with her attitude there. Right? Or when you got to go to court or you got to do something downtown City Hall and you got to deal with her attitude there. And most of it stems from the fact that her intimacy life is trash. And that stems from the fact that the black community been blown smoke up her ass for her whole entire life. She thought she had a chance with a non-black man and fell through. She tried it again and fell through. She tried it again and fell through. Now she's miserable. Because people like y'all refuse to critique this. Right? And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. So she gets to gallivant around the black community speaking about being a white man's whore, Speaking about, yeah, we can't get away with the way we treat black men. Yeah, we can't get away with that outside of the black community. White men, Latino men, Asian men ain't going for how we treat black men. Huh. You get crack a smile to non-black men as opposed to what we do to black men. Wink at non-black men as opposed to what we do to black men. Initiate conversations with non-black men as opposed to what we do with black men. Huh. In other words, this is black women straight up saying we can't charge white men, Latino men, Asian men, indigenous men with the black tax the way we charge black men with it. Well, damn, Mr. Z, sounds like you've been saying something like that for quite a while. I know. Thank you. And Barry Little says, and thank you for the super chat, this goes way beyond quote unquote daddy issues. Exposed by pro-blacks and will not be solved by flat blackness. It can't be solved by flat blackness because black women want to be women, i.e. white women. We're trying to solve this only one way, flat blackness. No one's telling black women that they're just black. Black men are just black. Black women, on the other hand, ha 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 ha. So black men can't and shouldn't aspire for some type of patriarchal organization, even if it's within their home. Black women, on the other hand, yes, you can aspire for quote unquote womanhood, white womanhood. Let's be very clear. Every time, well, other women get to, and other women get to, and other women get to, and other women aren't told. What they're really saying is white women get to. Let's be very clear. Upper middle class white women get to. Upper middle class white women aren't told to settle. Upper middle class white women get to splurge and be snarky and a-holes, and everyone has to take it. Why can't I too be an upper middle class white woman? That's what that's what womanhood is. That's the gold standard. I too want to be an upper middle class white woman. I want the power, I want the prestige, I want the political position, I want the social position of upper middle class white woman. I'm going to call it womanhood. I'm going to call it just woman. But it is a very particular white womanhood. Right? It is a very particular womanhood, white womanhood. You know, as Green Gorilla was speaking, when he was speaking about, how in Europe and in America they would be hanging women and, guillotining women and everything like that. He's speaking about the Salem witch trials. Where they were hanging white women, beheading white women, throwing white women into the water, bound by, not cinder blocks, but concrete. If you swim out somehow magically, you're a witch. If you die, you go to heaven. White women had to go through that. White women who, more than you would think, were smarter than their dumbass white husbands, were called witches because they were smarter than their dumbass white husbands and every other man maybe in that town. They would be murdered, hung, guillotined, etc. That is not what black women are speaking about. What black women are speaking about is Marie Antoinette before she found her head on the other side of a guillotine. What black women are speaking about is Catherine the Great. What black women are speaking about is Anastasia's wife, Anastasia's mother, before the Russian Revolution, made quick work of her family. What black women are speaking about is Queen Elizabeth, right? That's what they're speaking about. That is why you know to get your act right. Excuse me. That is why you know to have your act right when you're attempting to be the white man's whore. Right? That's why you say, make sure you don't say the N word and don't be too, and she didn't say aggressive, but let's call a thing a thing. Don't be too aggressive and assertive. And the other young lady, flirt. It's okay to be flirtatious and, give them a wink and smile. You hear black women telling, oh, wait a minute, Z. Is this a black woman telling other black women to smile? Is this a black woman telling other black women to smile? For non-black men, pretty much primarily for white men. Meanwhile, dear black men, you tell black women to smile. Let's see how that works for you. You tell black women to attempt to be pleasant. Let's see how that works for you. Right? Huh. So this is a black woman telling other black women to smile for white zaddy. Hmm. But you, black man, get the resting bee face. You, black man, get black women ass to kiss. While white zaddy gets the interview voice and yes dear, no dear. Right? Exactly, Barry Little. It's the struggle and what we have to put up with under black patriarchy. Right? So good point, Big Kev. And notice how these same black women that preach quote unquote race loyalty are the first ones calling other black women pick-me's for dating and marrying working class brothers. Exactly. And that is what Mr. Z means by the black tax. And that is what Mr. Z means by the black tax. You are charged with the black. See, the rest of society charges black men with the black tax. And black men already know that. It's one thing for non-black people to charge you with the black tax. It's one thing for non-black women to charge you with the black tax. But black women charging you with the black tax while claiming moral high ground, moral superiority, while claiming that you are the one that's sexist, that you are the one that's colorist, that you are the one that's featurist, that you are the one that's texturist, that you are the one that aspires for white patriarchy. Right? Hmm. So they charge you with the black tax while aspiring to be with non-black men, namely white men, mainly for the position, the status, right? And as Green Girl was saying, like and Mr. Z has said this, the world hears you, black women, and y'all better believe I'm gonna cover that video. That was on Green Gorilla's channel yesterday. I'm gonna clip it out. We're gonna play that also. That might be coming on later on today. Maybe tomorrow morning. We'll see. We'll see. Or tomorrow afternoon. We'll see. We'll see. But that's next, right? These people claim moral high ground, claim that you want to be a white patriarch while they chase after white patriarchs, and they deny you any type of role in black male leadership and any of that. Nope, nope, nope. We won't have that coming from you, black man. But we will chase after it coming from white men, right? And the ruthless, heartless revelator says, salute, Z, salute. Thank you, brother. Thank you for the super chat. Morning. And the question is, what are black men supposed to do with that? That's why it's being passport bros. What are black men supposed to do with that? Does Mr. Z think there's still a black community? Yes. Right? Being dismantled day by day. Can't even say it's on its last leg. It's on its last toenail. Right? How are you supposed to share a community with women like this? Who are actively, knowingly, and now just bold enough to say it, telling you, yeah, I'm treating you disrespectfully. Yes, I'm being mean and snarky because you're not white. Which speaks to Barry Little's comment, preferential treatment. And no, it's worse. They don't just have it's not just preferential treatment, right? These people are like looking at white men and white society in this almost godlike, right, position. They're looking up at the white man's crotch. Mr. Z, do you gotta be so vulgar every time you say it? Yes. Absolutely. Right? Just because you want to be tucked under his crotch don't mean I want to be tucked under his crotch. That's your goal in life, not Z, not other black men, not maybe even other black women. Gives a whole new meaning to covering. Ugh. And that's all it is, Anubis, exactly. Zaddy worship. At the end of the day, that's all it is Zaddy worship. It's cowardly black women who think they don't have to lift a finger saying, yeah, I ain't fighting white supremacy. I ain't doing it. Nope, nope. Yeah, this anti-black society. Yeah, nope. I ain't fighting nothing. I'm gonna go over here and be his whore, and yeah, and I'm gonna treat him kindly, and hopefully, at best, I just keep my head down and he doesn't bother me. Right? Or rewind. At worst, I keep my head down and he doesn't bother me, and at best, I become his wife. I'll be, I'll be okay. I have my tragic mulatto kids, and we'll go and sell out in the sunset in some white suburb somewhere. At the end of the day, that's what this is about. A bunch of risk-averse, cowardly, weak black women who claim they're tired of, I'm tired of fighting white supremacy. Black men don't protest. Black men don't do this. Black men are not fighting. Black men wants the white man's trophy, the white woman. Meanwhile, according to all the dating online evidence, actually, black women, y'all got some explaining to do. Hmm. And thank you for the super chat, Lin Yora, right? Z-san, what's going on? Oh yeah, they're all trying to be Kevin Federline. Funny, Detroit. Funny. They all want to get Federlined. They're over here dancing on Jesus' misfortune. I seen that video, Chrissy. Response coming. Right? I seen that video, Chris. Response coming. They're all dancing on. Okay, you know what? A few seconds of pettiness. At least we get the wife in the marriage. Oops. Chrissy, you been out here swirling for how long? Tick tock, tick tock. All these people, these particular type of black women. Hey, you see what happens with their preference? You see, I guess she wasn't fit and excuse me. She wasn't fit and friendly and feminine. I guess she wasn't feminine. Ha 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 ha. That sounds funny. At least they get the ring. At least black men get the ring. At least, well, not in Jeezy's case, but at least black men get to marry. Y'all can say what y'all want. Dear black women, it don't look good. I don't suggest you continue this competition. I don't suggest it. Y'all don't want to start speaking about which one of us have more mixed children out of wedlock. You don't want to have that conversation. And even if it was black men, you don't want to have the conversation about how many black women have mixed children out of wedlock. You don't want to have the conversation that only 4% of black women, say it again, 4% of black women, one more again, 4% of black women are married outside of their race out of all marriageable age black women. And we know not only 4% of black women are having sex outside of their race. Uh-oh. Hmm. Who would have thought that we would be having a conversation about being kinder to non-black people so that you could have your non-black spouse? And one of the sexes in the black community gets to say that. And it goes uncritiqued, unquestioned. Right? It goes uncritiqued, unquestioned. Straight up saying, yeah, we're going to be kinder and nicer and more pleasant to these non-black men. We're actually not going to charge them with the black tax. That's essentially what the black young lady at the end said, right? That's what the young lady at the end said. All that crap that we put black men through, non-black men are not going. Being late, being snarky, cursing up a storm, being loud, being ill-mannered, ill-tempered. sassy for no reason, unwarranted sass, all that we do to black men, and then we tell the rest of society, or we turn around and tell black men what they like. Oh no, black men like that. Black men like them some big girls. Black men like them a girl with a little bit of spice, a little bit of flavor. They like them some attitude. Translation: I don't think black men are deserving of a kind, friendly woman. I speak to black men like this because they're not deserving of that. Fine, black men are not deserving of that. Okay, but white men are. Ooh. See, Mr. Z's statement follows a very direct line. No one is. That's not what black women like this are saying. See, when Mr. Z says it, when I say no woman is deserving of just outright protection from any random man, I didn't say black women aren't. I said no woman is. If y'all want egalitarianism, you get it all the way. And if a man is around and you're lucky enough for him to provide you with some type of protection, then that's great. What Mr. Z didn't say is that black women are not deserving of protection, but some random white woman or Latina or whoever is. Mr. Z didn't say that. You know what black women like this are saying? Black men are not deserving of your respect and for you to defer to them and be kind to them and friendly, but non-black men, namely white men, are deserving of that demeanor, that comportment. Well, damn. Right? Right? Hmm. So now they're being this bold, everyone. And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Talking about super chats. And Gold Professor says, morning Gold Professor, long live long enough without correction, history will repeat itself. Decisions, brothers keep winning. Gold Professor. I say let them talk long enough, Gold P. If they talk long enough, right, and you filter out all the weirdo stuff that they say, y'all give Mr. Z 1 second, y'all talk amongst yourselves. And we're back. I don't know, Mr. Z got kicked off his own stream. It happens. It happens. Technical difficulties. This one, it was not actually by the operator. It's not the operator's fault. And we're back. So yeah, and thank y'all for still being with me. You know, we'll close out in a minute. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. We're covering this today to have that conversation about Black intimacy, what it means for us socially and politically, because I maintain that much of the problems that the Black community is facing is because of a lack of trust between Black men and Black women, namely Black women, because Black men make them white women, right? And what comes from that? And what comes from that? And what I'm showing here are Black women taxing Black men with a Black tax and knowing that they do and saying it in so many words. If you say, you know, be a little flirtatious, crack a smile, wink, that doesn't exist in a vacuum. What that is saying is, as opposed to what we engage in when we're engaging with Black men, how we speak when we're speaking to Black men, how we act when we're around Black men, as opposed to being snarky and being mean and having the resting bee face when we're around Black men. Let's not do that with non-Black men, namely white men, right? That is what you're saying. That is what you're saying, right? What we make Black men put up with, non-Black men ain't going. What was her exact words? And her exact words were, what we make Black men put up with, they're not gonna go for that. They're not gonna go for that. In other words, you're charging Black men with the Black tax. In other words, you think, see, it's very interesting, these Black women who mock and insult SYSBM, they mock and insult passport bros, but you're no better than the white woman in America. You're aspiring to be her. You're aspiring to be her. The reason why it's passport bros is because passport bros ain't trying to deal with the white woman in America either. They may not be even trying to deal with the Latina in America either. That's why it's passport bros. Get away from the entire institution that socializes women to sound like, I don't know, you. How do you mock passport bros and then in the very next breath say things like, you know, how pretty much how we treat Black men, we can't treat white men like that. Oh, let's pause for the calls right here. Mr. Z has to apologize. A few videos ago, I did a stream. What was it about? Where a woman was speaking and she was what was she saying? I can't remember. I know I got I got it from Gender Warlords channel, and I assumed that it was the same woman saying one thing and view and showing, they were showing her tweets, and I got it mixed up. It wasn't the same woman that they were showing her tweets. That was the one that was speaking, right? So I just want to apologize because I was deaf saying it like it was the same person, because I assumed it's the same person and it's not. So, for those of you that, maybe two or so streams ago, yeah, so, gotta make sure we get our information correct. So it's not the same person. Person that heard her is not the same person that the world was showing the video from her Twitter, right? So let's make sure we get that out the way. And so once again, thank you for the super chat. Gold P. Once again, oh yeah, pause for the cause. Talking about Gold P. Y'all remember Gold P was the first one to suggest that Mr. Z start his channel, which Mr. Z eventually did. So y'all make sure y'all send y'all hate mail to Gold Professor, right? And once again, thank you for the super chat, Gold Professor. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, right? And as Detroit said, Western cultural mindset. The Western cultural mindset, right? And as we can see right here, mean, snarky, resting bee face, a-hole women who are admitting that they can't get away with that with non-black men, right? Who are saying, yeah, let's not do that with white men or Asian men or Latino men or indigenous men because they're not going for that. Particularly white men, they're not going for that. So black women are saying that non-black men, namely white men, are the ones they reserve being fit, feminine, and friendly for. Because if the first young lady is to be believed when she says, we can't do the resting bee face and, crack a smile, wink, be a little flirtatious. If she's saying that, what she's saying is, yeah, what we don't do for black men. This is why Mr. Z calls it the black tax. No, Will AR, and this is actually a very true statement. And Will AR says, if you are supposedly an opponent of so-called quote unquote racism, white supremacy, then you should theoretically be in full support of hashtag passport bros movement. Yeah. But then that would mean that black women would have to admit that they've been sullied by white supremacy and they have white supremacist thoughts, namely about black men. See, black women would kind of admit that they might have some white supremacist leanings, but then they'll inevitably turn it on internal, right? They'll say, well, maybe the way I see myself in the mirror and the fact that I don't like my skin tone is about white supremacy. And how colorism, this is where you come in, black men, has, rubbed off on me and it makes me, have self-hate and et cetera, et cetera. But what they won't say is that they have a white supremacist worldview themselves and that actually passport bros may be doing the best thing for them. Because if women are chasing after white patriarchy, white patriarchs, that's white women, obviously, Latinas, Asian, black women, indigenous women, et cetera, in America or in the West, then it might behoove certain men of color, in this case, namely black men, to go to places where maybe white supremacy or white supremacist worldview hasn't infected the women that much. Although it's global, maybe she ain't that bad. Right? Although white supremacy is global, maybe she ain't that bad. But that would take black women admitting that they are that bad. That would take certain black women admitting that. Look, yeah, we got a white supremacist worldview. Yeah, we're going to charge you with the black tax. Yeah, we're going to be mean and snarky and condescending, belittling, challenge your manhood, question your manhood, because, you're not a white man, so are you really a man? Right? That would take black women first being introspective, secondly, admitting that the world doesn't revolve around them, third, admitting that they too victimize other people. Oh boy, black women not trying to win victim Olympics? not and here's the thing, not just admit that they victimize other people, admit that they victimize black men. For certain black women, admit that they victimize black men knowingly, because black men, well, once again, aren't white men. That would take black women admitting that they charge black men with the black tax because they're not white men, right? Let's be very clear. That's a hard one for black women. So the best we can do for right now is catch them in videos like this. Once again, the internet will expose us all. Better yet, we will expose ourselves on the internet, right? The internet will expose us all. And this is a prime example of that, right? This young lady said exactly what needed to be said. The first young lady. The second young lady said exactly what needed to be said. Don't say the N word around these guys. Meanwhile, she talking to you with all the hood vernacular, talking to you like she's one of the bros. It's very interesting. I think the Raj Report said the other day you hear more and more black men say bro to black women. Well, I mean, she talking to us like she's one of the bros. I mean, so the young lady that said, don't say the N word, around white dudes, but she's saying the N word to you and around you, which, depending on your relationship, okay. But the sentiment, right? What else? There's also the young lady that straight up said, we can't, buy my book, The White Man's Whore. Well, there you go. The other young lady that straight up said, yeah, we can't bring all that crap that we bring to black men. All that crap that we bring to black men, yeah, we can't do that with white men. And you got to be prompt, right? You got to be on time with white men, right? You got to be on time with white men. We can't be complete a-holes to non-black men, everyone. We reserve that sentiment for black men. We reserve that way of speaking and acting and comporting ourselves with black men, right? And we'll pause right here. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Mr. Z will be back with you in a minute. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, hopefully you guys can still hear me. I think, and hopefully I'm not borging. Hopefully, right? My apologies, everyone, for that long wait, but Mr. Z life is lifing, right? Mr. Z's life is lifing. Like I told y'all, I had some stuff to handle, and I will tell y'all what that is eventually. But yeah, had some stuff to handle over the weekend, and yep. So life is lifing still, and yeah. Okay, let's read this super chat, and once again, shout out to you, the ruthless, heartless revelator. If I could get that word out, revelator. Um, Go where you are celebrated, not tolerated. Use their own phrase against them. You see what I'm saying? You know, that's to to think that we have certain black women straight up saying like, yeah, we're gonna have to be kinder, nicer, um, kinder, nicer, not be mean, not like, you know, maybe be the one to make the first move for a non-black man, right? Just because they frame it a certain way, they think that's not what they're saying, right? They think that's not what they're saying. You are saying that, young lady, right? You are saying that. And it needs to be said. We need to start saying this amongst ourselves, amongst our other brothers, our male cousins, our grandfathers, our fathers, right? Our guy cousins. Other black men need to know so that when they hear these things, they understand what it is. So you don't have the weirdo uncle or grand uncle that's Steve Harvey, right? And y'all could shut down these brothers like FD Signifier. Well, you got to understand. No, I don't. I don't actually. No, I don't. The Dr. Umar Johnson, right? And once again, thank you for the super chat, the ruthless, heartless revelator. And Big Kev says, and thank you for the super chat, Big Kev. Most pro-blacks, hoteps, and feminists give zero Fs about the quote-unquote community. They just want to be able to brag about being superior to working-class black men. And there you go. Black community's version of classism. Right, Big Kev? Like, exactly. The black community's version of classism. That's all. And will there be classes? And let's say if the black community was firing on all cylinders and it was a functioning, healthy community, would there be classes? Yes. It will be classes that just organically come about because of who you were born to, what you do for a living, right? Your career trajectory, your career endeavors, etc., etc. It wouldn't be white society handpicking who gets to be up here and who's down there and why. Once again, why? Right? You wouldn't have PhDs in grass growing being the ones giving social commentary about black men and black women relationships. Yikes. You wouldn't have bitter, angry sisters still mad about who didn't find them attractive in high school, giving social commentary about black men, black women relationships or the lack thereof, the patriarchy, etc., etc. Right? You wouldn't have LGBTQ black men who ally with anti-black black women who then give their quote unquote critique of the black community. Shout out to you, Themis. And what's the other dude name that acts as if he's somewhat of a journalist? Right? This is he gonna give y'all his name in 1 minute. Well, let's make sure we get this guy's name correctly. Correct. Better yet. Right? Give me 1 second. If I could find this dude. What is his name? Okay, it's not happening. Right? But yeah, so we wouldn't have people like Themis critiquing the black community, not so much critiquing the black community, critiquing black men, right? And trying to ally with anti-black black women. So I agree with Big Kev. This is a weird form of classism. There we go. That's his name. Storm Monroe. Yeah, that guy. Dear Storm Monroe, the women in your comment section still question your sexuality, brother. Even though you popped up with your petty ass, you popped up with that sister with the fro. That fro looked nice. Doesn't matter. The women in your own comment section was still flaming you. How do y'all? I don't get it. Y'all be kissing their ass. Y'all be telling them exactly what they want to hear, and they still flame y'all because once again, dear LGBTQ black men, you're still black men, and black women still reserve the right to insult you, demean you, question your manhood, question your humanity, and maybe even want to abort you. You too can be aborted, right? These extra sassy black men swear kissing black women's ass and bowing to the gynocracy is somehow going to save them from these angry, bitter black women's wrath. And you only one sentence away from catching their hands verbally, maybe even real. No, it's Storm Monroe, GC, Storm Monroe. Yeah, and Detroit is right. He teamed up with Cynthia G. Yeah, that guy. Right? But will they say anything about women like this who's pretty much said, yeah, treat the white guys with kindness and deference and be prompt and on time, and we can't treat the white guys the way we treat the black guys, and we can't have the attitude we do, right? If we can't be extra snarky and mean and condescending, right? So we just are going to ignore that and continue to tell black men they ain't ish. Alrighty then, right? And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. But you know, y'all, I suggest everyone play the link in the description. It's not too long. It's about 60 or so seconds. So you too can get an idea of these women just straight up saying what it really is. And the video is from attorney Dennis Sperling. My apologies earlier. I forgot. I thought I got it from Gender Warlord, because Gender Warlord has so many good informative videos on his channel. Y'all check out Gender Warlord also, showing you what these people are saying on the interwebs, what they're saying on Twitter, right? Their weirdo TikTok videos. But this one in particular, that I'm referencing, link in my description, is from attorney Dennis Sperling, right? But this is how they sound. And to go sit any man that calls himself Storm Monroe. Hey, Buddy Roden popped up with the slim dark skinned sister with her gorgeous fro, and guess what? It didn't matter because the women in his comments were still flaming him. Flaming him. I'm just saying. There's a pun in there somewhere. Anyway, and still questioning his manhood and masculinity. But of course they were. But of course they were, right? Good point, GC. And GC says the black man outside of the manosphere are the ones that got to see that ish. Yeah, yeah. Indigo. I ain't even gonna read it out loud. Uh, GC, I think you've been corrected. Right? I think Indigo has something to say. D. Scott. I ain't even gonna read it out loud. Right? We'll just say that's a dude, and we'll just leave it at that. Better you. Look, I ain't even gonna go in on Buddy Row, right? I'm not well. Anyway, um, pause. Um, yeah, like we said, and I'm about to close out. Look, this is who these people are. They are who we thought they were, right? These are who these people are. They're being bold. As I said before, the internet will expose us all. Here's the internet exposing us all, right? The internet will expose us all. Dot dot dot. In actuality, we're going to expose ourselves on the internet. Black women are telling you what it is. Dear black men, proceed with caution. And I mean it when I say this, right? I am truly saddened to have to say that. To tell black men to proceed with caution with black women, that does give me pause when you say that. Even and and as BGS said, right? And I let y'all know BGS is a real human being, right? Like the black pill and the red pill, like that's good. But every once in a while, you'll say something or you'll hear something, you'll watch something or you'll read something. And as black pill as you are, or as red pill as you are, you still got to take a moment, right? And as a black man, born and raised in America, been around black women from all across the diaspora my entire life, there's still things that you have to take pause. And to hear black women essentially say, we are going to show non black men, namely white men, the best of us, and black men get the scraps. Because I know there's going to be some black women that might pop up on my channel and be like, well, that's not what these women were saying, but that is what they're saying. That is what they're saying. And that's beautifully edited by either attorney Dennis Sperling or whoever he had that edited that and put it at the end when the young lady just straight up said, yeah, what we put black men through, other men not going for that. They're not going to go for that. And for black women who, even if they might have got here later, who still had to go through slavery to a certain extent, still had to go through Jim Crow, still those white women who, but excuse me, black women, black women who were also hung, not nearly to the numbers of black men, obviously, but were also hung, were raped, etc., etc. For us to be still in the early part of the 21st century, we're still under a quarter in to the 21st century, and to hear black women sound like this, right? And Will AR is right about that, right? Give Mr. Z 1 second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Mr. Z got to be a boyfriend right now. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. And we're back. Right. I really need to. God, I need to get with Compassionate and Callous. Compassionate. My apologies. I've been dealing with some stuff. I saw your email. I'm gonna get back to you. So yeah, but I've been dealing with a couple of things. Right. So yeah, gotta get back to you because maybe we can shoe in some Mr. Z music or car sounds or. As a matter of fact, I'm. Don't y'all. Hey, anybody else that does this, they got the idea from me. They stole it from Z. Y'all heard it here first. I'll put y'all in on one of the things that I kind of want to have done on my channel, where when y'all super chat, I have like the little clips. Shout out to Art New Style, like he does, but mine's is gonna be like car related, right? So like, there's gonna be a different type of car related thingamajigger depending on the super chat and what, et cetera, et cetera. Mr. Z, gotta try to do that. Let's try to do that, right? So on that note, thanks y'all for listening in this morning. Shout out to everybody. God damn, we did an hour and 45 minutes. Woo. Um, like I said, this is what they sound like. The internet will expose us all. This is why Mr. Z said that how many years ago now? Y'all heard me say that what first on what? The Roger Report show, or was it BGS? I want to say it was the Roger Report. I said it on Charles' channel. I said it on BGS channel. I've said it everywhere, honestly. Shout out to Kev, Black Men Being Brutally Honest. I said it there. I've said it everywhere. Right? Mr. Z can pat himself on the back. I coined that phrase because it was so evident how bold some of us were getting with our anonymity and the things that we were saying and why we were saying it the way we were saying it. Right? The Mr. Z in real life sounds like Mr. Z online. Promise you. Right? I'm not gonna get. You wouldn't find out something about Mr. Z in real life and be like, "Oh, see, I knew he was frightened." There is nothing, right? But this, I have to agree with Barry Little. I have to agree with Will AR. I have to agree with a lot of the brothers in the comments that said like this is one of the best Passport Bros advertisements. I mean, that is exactly why. If you listen at the very end, what does Attorney Dennis Sperling play? Right? Exactly. So, on that note, everyone, we'll close out here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great, great, great rest of y'all day. Right? I will be trying to come back to you guys either later on today or tomorrow when we review that video that Dr. Green Gorilla had on his channel. Oh my God, they are so bold now. Right? And who said that? Let's let that be the last comment. Was that you, Will AR? Let me see. Let's see. Yeah, it was you. And Will AR says they coming out the bag with this mess now. Bold as F. No shame whatsoever, bro. Bold, bold, dumb, stupid, like dumb, stupid, bold, right? Like asking kid the truth and they tell you the truth because because it's like, wait, I didn't know that lying was a thing, right? Just dumb bold, but it that's great for us though. That is great for black men because black men will proceed with caution, and unfortunately, black men are gonna have to treat black women like strangers, certain black women like strangers, um, and be weary just like you would with every non-black woman, right? I agree with Black Uru. Like I said, Black Uru has got me to come around to how he thinks when he says, yeah, we're gonna have to like have a legal divorce from black women and have black men be considered their own entity, not just this flat blackness. Flat blackness allows for black women to pretty much BLM the black community, right? Essentially, and for those of you that don't understand what Mr. Z is saying, black women get to use the blood, the lives, the memories, the death of black men in advancement of specific black woman, black LGBTQ endeavors, right? Leon said, being bold with no economy, right? Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. Woo, GC, all women are white women. I would say this: all women are white women or are aspiring to be white women. And I really want to have a conversation with Army Ose Frimpong, right, the funky academic, about that, because he sits this multiple times now, that to be a woman, especially back in colonial days, was to be a bit fancy, right? It's not that you're not a woman, by the way, for any woman listening. It's what you actually mean by woman, the political and social position of woman, not just woman because you can maybe bear children and et cetera, right? You have a monthly and et cetera. You have protruding breasts. No, 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 no. When we say woman, we mean the political and social position of white women that other women pretty much aspire to. And I really would like to speak to Armio Frimpong about going into detail about that. And then what does that mean for black quote unquote women in America, right? So, on that note, everybody, let's close out for real because I know Dr. Thunder is streaming and I'm stepping on his toes right now. Um, so we will pause right here. Of love, we will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Look at Mr. Z tripping over his own words that I say like every stream. All right, we'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God. By the way, I have some video in my community tab, excuse me, my community tab that I want y'all to check out. Yes, it's from Kyle Kalinske. Yes, it's a lefty video for all my conservative brothers, but you really should check it out, especially if you're conservative, so you can see what they really about to get into if Trump gets into office or any Republican. It ain't gonna look good, dear black people. Right? It ain't gonna look good when you hear what they're trying to expedite the process of. Ooh, right? And Leon, you check out the video too. Link in my community tab, by the way. The Kyle Kalinske video. Right? He gets to the good stuff like midway through the video. So yeah. Anyway, on that note, we will end out here. See, non-Black Manosphere related subject. Anyway, we'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. Mr. Z out. All right, y'all. Everybody have a great day.